It is May 27th, 1921, and I wait on the platform at the rail depot listening for the deep thunderous rumble of the train coming down the track. Although there are many people waiting for this train and their dead soldiers, I feel isolated from them, alone and invisible. A slight breeze caresses my cheek as if to say, hello, you are not alone. The skies are cloudy and dark as if the heavens are preparing to shed their tears along with mine. I hear a distant whistle, a groan of thunder, and my heart cracking. The train and the pain are close, like a storm about to explode in the sky. Today is the day my son arrives back from the war. He arrives not walking off the train, but carried off in a flag-draped casket. Dead almost 3 years now and buried in a foreign land. We did not know where he was buried for almost 2 years after he was killed. This was the land his mother and I left years ago. How ironic he should die there when we came here to give our children a life of hope, plenty, and most importantly, peace. The clouds gather close as the train arrives, slowly grinding its brakes as it grinds pain into my heart. Finally, the train comes to a stop. My heart stops too for a moment. The doors open in front of me as if in a dream, and soldiers march in formation off the train and stand guard in a present arms state outside the baggage car doors as the families wait silently. Breaths are held as we await the unloading of our soldiers, and I see tears silently sliding down the faces of some of the women as they place their hands on their hearts and bow their heads in solemn prayer. I feel their pain and my chest aches. It is becoming more difficult to hold back the tears. The grief I first felt when I learned of Michael's death has returned with a vengeance. It is as if the storm brewing in the air is brewing inside me, just waiting to be released. The grief consumes me as it explodes once again in my aching chest. Sadness seeps from me through the air to the boxes holding the caskets which carry the soldiers. Can the soldiers feel my pain? It's so real, you can almost touch it. Box after box is carried off the train and soldiers appear carrying my son. They place Michael's box gently on the floor next to the other boxes, which are laid side by side in the train station lobby. The soldiers await orders on where to transport the boxed caskets from here. Grief of all the men, women, and children standing in this room waiting to sign for their soldier is thick and oppressing like high humidity, and I can hardly breathe. I wonder how long this pain will last. I sign the receipt of remains for my dear son and give directions on where the casket should be delivered. I turn to depart the train station and leave a piece of my heart behind as I go. The next day, our dear son was laid in state at home in our parlor. His mother and I waited so long for this moment. Visitors filed into our home throughout the day on May 28th and paid their respects. There is no laughter in the house today. The grief filled the room, something we could not have avoided no matter how hard we tried. May 29th, 1921 arrives, and soon it will be time to bury our son. It is a beautiful day, fair, sunny, and warm, and a white carriage stands in front of the house. The street is filled with family, friends, and neighbors, and men from all branches of the service enter the house to remove his casket. They load his casket in the white carriage, and a military band leads the solemn procession down 18th Place from our house. We follow the carriage in more than 12 cars and make our way north to Bohemian National Cemetery, where full military burial service is held. The white carriage stops next to the area where Michael will be buried, and a military chaplain awaits us. An honor guard acting as pallbearers gently extract his flag-draped casket from the carriage and carefully laid it next to the open hole which will serve as his final resting place. The chaplain begins speaking, although I hear very little of what he has to say. My thoughts rest on my dear son lying quietly in the casket at my feet. The chaplain finishes speaking, and a group of riflemen fires a salute. After the boom of the guns, an eerie silence descends upon us all. Then the mournful sound of a trumpet and taps is played. The family gathers close and sadness washes over us like an ocean wave. When taps is finished, the deathly silence envelops us all as the flag which covered Michael's casket was taken off and folded very precisely. With her heart shattering and head bowed as her tear-filled eyes are fixed on Michael's casket, his mother, Magdalena, weeps, the tears staining her cheeks. She raises her head and looks at the soldier standing before her with Michael's flag. She stretches out her arms to receive the flag, and pulling it close to her heart, she bows her head again and sobs, knowing she will never again hold her son. We say our last goodbyes as Michael is lowered into the ground and finally laid to rest. Maybe now that he is home with us, the pain will begin to subside. Maybe now we can all find some peace and begin to heal. The last of the dirt is placed upon the grave and people begin to depart. Our family stands there a bit longer to reflect on our dear son and his sacrifice, which allows us to live free and in peace. We are proud of our son and his service. As we walk away, I turn one last time to say goodbye to Michael. He was named after Michael, the archangel patron of protection and love. And our son now lies in a tall monument with a statue of an infantryman standing guard and protecting us all.